Hello everyone and welcome back to another race recap from this time around from the Ironman European Championship in Frankfurt, as well as a little. This video is sponsored by the videographer Roj, who is also Pokemon geek. So I was just gonna see if I'm getting some big what do you call it? Top hits as well. So is this like a 3,000 euro car? Is it good?
Oh, you actually got a good card. Oh,
Is it-
wow. That's actually a good one.
What does that mean? Okay, let's pack magic. I'll do this. I'll do this. And then we go. I'm just waiting for a response to Rush.
Thing. Ooh, okay. It's an EX card.
Which means
It's better than a normal one, but it's not as good as something like this.
okay. But anyway, back to the race. Summing up the European Championship in Ironman, which was in Frankfurt. It's now 10 days ago. So, yeah, second time in Frankfurt. It was a race I also did last year under very different conditions. Last year it was pouring down, rain, cool temperatures. But this time around we saw already like 2-3 weeks out from the race that it was a heat wave coming in over Germany, and yeah, it was like 35 degrees Celsius in Frankfurt, like weeks leading up to the race. So sort of almost panic training a little bit with heat training here in Bergen, as the plan was to go into Frankfurt as late as possible. So that was like one of the things I was a bit nervous for before the race, the fact that I hadn't done like a race simulation outdoors in the condition that I was facing on race day. I've only done like the prep inside with the core sensor, and wasn't sure how the body would deal with the temperatures on race day. So that was one of the unknown factors. Another thing, because of the stacked field, like you had Patrick Lange, who didn't race in Texas due to an injury. He will be back. German on home soil can always be dangerous, as well as Magnus Ditlev on the bike, who basically broke me apart in Kona last year. So having to deal with sort of his tactic as well, and yeah, it was a race I was really looking forward to in one way. With a feel I was really looking forward to race as well. So I felt the training was going well going into the race. I felt that the run training we did in Bergen was really going well. Like we did, I think 2 specific weekends of like prep, where we both did 3 by 9K on the run at intensity, and both of the days I finished off the last 9K at under 3:20 pace and without feeling smashed. So I really felt that I had the run under control. The only question mark was like if I would be in a good position coming off the bike. So yeah, to start from the beginning, swim course was like a sort of 2 loops, but 2 different ones. So first like one shorter one at 1,500 meters before we went on to like an or onto the land again with like an OC exit, and then onto the second bigger loop. And I think one of the mistakes I did in the morning were that I wasn't aggressive enough for the first 200 to 500 meters in the water. So I was, yeah, I guess I was just assuming that the field would come together and I would be in an okay position on the way back again from the turning boys. But as I was turning around on that first short loop on the swim, and on the way back again, I had the sun in my face, and I saw up and I realized that Yeah, it's already been a gap opened up, and it's probably 20 seconds up, and I thought that would be a massive effort to bridge up if I would be able to do it. I'm not even sure if I would be strong enough to catch up. So then I was basically from the turning point of that first lap on the way back again, and for the whole second lap I was just swimming in the feet of Rudy von Berg and trying to just save as much energy as possible. So yeah, after 1500 meters, I think we were like 45 seconds behind the leaders. So the way I was like looking at it was like, as I was looking up and trying to see when the first guys was coming up on land, I tried to look at my watch and seeing when they were coming up, and then as I were doing the also exit myself, I also had a look at the watch and yeah, realized it was like 45 seconds. And the same I did on the second lap on the swim. Like every time the front group was like bending around a buoy, I tried to look at my watch and taking the time and see like how much time we lost. And I think we were like close to 2 minutes behind the front guys coming out of the water. So further back than preferred. Like ideally I should have been in that first pack. And the only one I was sort of worried about were how close Magnus would be to me on the swim, because I was planning to put on the calf sleeves again in T1. So the bike course as well in Frankfurt is like in first a short section maybe of 20k or so, maybe 30k into the loop, and then it's like a 2 big loops on the bike. And already on that first loop I lost one of my bottles of nutrition. So I was planning to have I had 320 grams of carbs in my frame into that bladder inside, and then I had 2 bottles of 160 grams of double mix 320 Maurten in both of them. And early on the bike I lost one of the bottles, so I realized that I had to rely on a lot of energy gels and trying to catch as many Maurten gels as possible on course, as well as I was like just drinking through nutrition. And I realized that after like 2.5 hours I was basically empty of all of the sports drink that I had with me. So for the last 90 minutes of the race, that was about the same time we were catching the front guys, except Christian Hogenhaug, who was then like 8 to 9 minutes in front of us. I was then very short on carbs and had to just basically just rely on water on course. Tried to grab a few Maurten gels and also had a few of them spare gels on the bike, but yeah, I went through them very quickly and just felt for the last hour when I was basically just riding on water that yeah, I just needed something more sugary, and went through again the same gels that I already have taken before, just like trying to get that second chance of getting those few extra grams down. So yeah, I felt quite desperate there for the final hour of the bike, and also the muscles felt crap. Like yeah, not sure why, but I just found the bike course, which should have been with the power we were riding, as a pretty easy one. But yeah, my legs was just smoked, and I thought that as long as I can get into T2 together with the group, I should be fit enough on the run to be able to recover on that first lap and just take down like the calories I have in T2. But yeah, that was a struggle, and at many different occasions I was actually like basically being dropped from that pack, and some of the guys behind me had to sort of come around me and then bridge up again, and they would like sort of bring me back into the pack. So yeah, a more challenging bike course than it should have been. I also realized after the race that the seat post had dropped by like a centimeters or so. So I don't know if it's down to the lack of carbohydrates, or it was lack of, well, the fact that the seat was a little bit lower, or just the fact that I'm in a terrible bike shape. But yeah, the 180k bike was, or 176k bike course was brutal in the end, even though it shouldn't. And it's a bit funny, like the whole last lap, I was just thinking that I'm really appreciating the fact that the bike course in Frankfurt is those 4k shorts, because that was helping me mentally for that whole last lap. But yeah, somehow I managed to get into T2 with that main pack, and had a quick transition again, as I had already put on the socks in T1 and grabbed that 0.5 liters of double mixed Maurten as well, and just started early on just trying to pour it down. So yeah, that was really helping, the fact that I was able to get that blood sugar back up again. And I think I started to run, basically I had Christian Hugenhaug like 9 minutes up front, and then Magnus was maybe 30 or 40 seconds, and then Kasper Stornes was like 15 seconds. So I was, and also I was just coming out of the transition together with Gustav. So I was catching up to Kasper within 2 or 3k, I think, and we were running together for a bit, and Magnus was then, like, for the first 15k, I think, like those 30 to 20 seconds ahead of us, as well as we were still running like 3:30 pace per k, and I thought that the pace is pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good, but there is no need to sort of start stressing already. Like, I felt that the gap to Hugenhaug up front was sort of coming down quite comfortably. So I didn't know at that point that one of the minutes we were catching was due to his penalty, but I think we had like 2 minutes on lap 1 and then 2 minutes on that second lap. So I felt like the math was adding up, and the legs was then adding up. So I was running together with Kasper for the first lap until he sort of gave me those 5 to 7 meters of gap. But then I just felt it was so annoying to be sort of chased down from behind. So as I felt a bit of discomfort as well on my timing chip, I thought, okay, it's better to just readjust it now, early in the race, rather than getting those nasty marks that can sort of irritate the Achilles and sort of give me some sore for the second half of the run. So I just stopped quickly, fixed that, sorted that one out, and start running again. And yeah, just waited until that third lap when I made my move after like 25k. A little bit because I felt that the gap to Christian Hugenhaug up front was maybe not coming down as quickly as I was expected. So instead of waiting until it was too late, I just increased the pace a little bit, dropped Kasper comfortably, who was then running in third. I was in the second, and yeah, basically catching Hugenhaug comfortably on the final lap early on. I think it was like with like 7 or 8k left of the race, and yeah, stoked to be able to bring it home, and also to be able to run such an even pace throughout the first throughout the first 10k until the last 10k. I think I had like maybe a minute difference, or I think I did 14 minutes or so for the first 21k, and then 16 minutes or so for the final 21k. So it wasn't even like a massive difference between the first and second half. So I felt really pleased with how the run leg was paying out, even though I was smoked after the bike. Any questions?
Well, my question is, okay, so you lost a bottle of nutrition, but how was your nutrition that day? What was your routine?
Okay, so my routine, the plan was to do as I did in Texas, so 160 grams per hour. and I did that on the maybe even a bit higher on the bike until I ran out of carbs. So then it was probably like 170 grams per hour until it was like 10 or 15 grams per hour for the final 90 minutes. And then on the run, I used that one bottle from T2, and then I was relying on like the Maurten gels on every second aid station. So I took a lot of like water and Coke and everything that's like they're serving on course just to get the amount of liquid down. But then I took like for every second aid station, which was maybe every 3K, I took a gel as well. So if you think taking of the 160 gel, I was maybe consuming half of it though, because like I was just taking like a quick sip or bite of it, and then adding some water in just to get it easier down. And I also had 2 bottles in the special needs aid station on the run, but as Casper didn't go in there on that second lap when I was together with him, or not even on the third lap, I didn't do it either.
You think you made up some time because of that?
Nah, I don't think I made up much. More like it is more like the great thing with the aid stations in Ironman is that they are serving Maurten gels, and that's also what I'm training. It's very easy for the stomach. So the only thing is like if you want to have more volume of liquid, it might be difficult to get it through the cups. But yeah, the volunteers on course were doing a great job and made it really easy to get down both the calories I needed and also the liquid. And the same, like I actually basically did the same routine as I did before Aix-en-Provence and Texas and Oceanside. So did 2 Plasmaide gels in the morning, so basically in transition, and as well doing it after the race. So yeah, I just enjoy the way I'm feeling, like with the breath. I feel like more controlled, and also it's helping me recover after the race. But even though, or I must say that I really had to dig way deeper in Frankfurt compared to what I did in Texas. So I really felt it basically for 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 days after the race that the legs wasn't really the normal, or they didn't respond as well as they did straight after Texas. So yeah, it was a much tougher one. But again, pleased to take the win, pleased to not lose, and it was as well. It was a good wake-up call, I would say, going into Nice. Like it's 2 months now, or just over 2 months until the World Championship in Nice, and it's enough time to do a lot of work on the bike, get a lot of hours in, and getting the threshold up again, and control of the pedal stroke, and sorting out that part of it so I can be stronger and fitter and faster for Nice. Because the hard brutality is that even though the start of the season has been great, it's all about that one day in Nice. The guy who is winning in Nice is the guy who takes the crown for the season, in my opinion. Any questions outside of my Pokemon new hobby? Thank you for watching. Oh, another thing I can say as well, like we saw both the bike power of Jonas Schomburg, Hugenhaug. I guess Magnus Ditlev will be stronger in East than what he was showcasing in Frankfurt. I would say I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't stronger on the bike. Sam Laidlaw is back again. Martin van Riel is going to be aggressive probably on the bike course. So yeah, it's a tough one in Nice as well. The German Patrick Lange is a world championship. I didn't believe on him before Kona last year, but this time around I definitely believe he's a guy to watch out for. And also pretty cool to see that Gustav and Casper is performing so well. as well. Like Gustav did his best race probably since Kona in 2022, and Kasper was, I would say, he was riding better than what I did. He was definitely swimming better than what I did. He was making it into the first pack, and yeah, if he gets another Ironman under his belt, he can be as well a dangerous threat for the podium. So it's cool that we're now having 3 Norwegians who is podium contenders for the World Championship, as well as having 2 other Norwegian who is been able to qualify, Christian Grue and Jon Breivoll. So 5 Vikings from Norway in the World Championship, as well as I don't know how many days there will be, but yeah, it's definitely a Scandinavian sport for now.